Hey everybody, this is Sage Valentine, and this is my review of episode 1 and 2 of 24 Live Another Day, season 1, episode 1. This is a whole nother series from 24, so if you have not watched 24, you may get a little bit, I guess, behind, so definitely check it out on Netflix, anything you can, or just Google it, find out something, even ask the people who've watched it before, because I spent this episode actually talking to a guy and telling him over Facebook all about the different things and stuff like that, because he was asking me different questions. So episode 1 in a nutshell, basically the first half consists of this group of like agents searching for someone who's supposed to be trying to kill the president in some way, like having a part in it. And we find out that the person they're looking for is Jack Bauer. And of course, Jack escapes. He's running around. He's shooting at them. He's fighting. They get him. So then we meet the president, which is actually James Heller. I believe that's his name. And Heller, if you remember from seasons, I believe it was season 6, season 7, season 8, Heller used to be the congressman, but I guess after Cherry Jones's character got out of office, he became the president. So we find out that Heller has some form of like early onset dementia or Alzheimer's or something, because he can't remember little key details, which wouldn't be so much of a big deal if it wasn't for his chief of staff, Mark. Mark is stuck on these minute details. He's kind of pissed off about it. It's just like he's basically treating him like an old man who needs to go to a nursing home, basically, because I guess Heller's running for president again, and I don't know, maybe Mark is looking for that position for himself. I don't know. So we meet a woman named Kate. Kate's husband, Kate is getting fired from her job. They're letting her stay, stay on, work on, and everything. So once Jack arrives to this new version of CTU with Benjamin Bratt, it's basically Steve Navarro, he's running things, and Kate's very skeptical. She's like, now Jack has gotten himself out of everything, as we've known from the previous seasons. So she's wondering, like, why didn't he just escape out of the roof? Like, did he want to be found? But no one's listening to her at all. So we find out the reason why Jack is there and he's not talking, and even though they mention Kim and her baby, he won't say anything. The reason why he's doing this is because he wants to get Chloe. So he doesn't say anything, doesn't answer. Even when Kate comes in, she starts talking about, is there somebody here? And they have him hooked up to this like lie detector, and it spikes, and no one's listening to her. So Jack somehow, and as always, he gets away, but the way he does it was just badass. He had his hands handcuffed behind his back. He was able to take out all these agents, choke this guy, Eric, played by the guy who played Chris on The Wire. If you haven't watched The Wire, check it out. It's a good show. And he escapes. And what happens is that Kate locks herself in the room, like I said, with the lie detector thing, and they get her out and they want her to leave, but she goes after Bauer, and basically we find out that Chloe is in the basement in some room called the Special Activities Room, I guess, where they torture people to get information. And this guy is torturing her through some type of like injections or something. And the next thing you know, with her, Jack comes in, he beats the hell out of the guy, and he gets her, and they're trying to escape, and then Kate catches up because she gets the gun from this one officer that she tases, and she's after them. And then we see this man in this van outside. He's got this gun thing. It turns out to be a rocket launcher. It might be a rocket launcher somewhat. Jack starts hitting all these pipes when they're underground, and then the steam comes out. Then the next thing you know, Kate's on it, is shooting back and forth. All of a sudden, Jack has Chloe hidden. They hide. He shoots one of the pipes blow. Then he hits something on his hand. The man takes the rocket launcher, hits it, makes a hole, puts down this ladder. They climb out. They're gone. And Kate can't even catch him. Kate is like out of it. So we meet a kid named Chris Tanner. Chris Tanner is played by John Boyega. If you're familiar with Attack the Block, he was recently cast in the new Star Wars movie that's supposed to be coming out in a couple years. He It's this young guy. He's working on the drones. He's in the Air Force. And something happened. He was supposed to, like, he did everything his boss asked him, but didn't get so-called credentials or some type of thing from this group. And the boss is all upset. And then he was like, listen, I have this pass for the weekend. Like, come on. He's like, no, your pass is revoked. You got to do this. So he's doing his job. So, like I said, President Heller is very sick. Mark, his chief of staff, is either the boyfriend or married to Audrey, Heller's daughter. If you don't know who she is, like I said, she's the daughter. She was also involved with Jack Bauer for a couple seasons, and Jack basically, I would say, psychologically messed her up to the point where we find out in this season that she had to go for help. She had to go get a shrink. She's just all messed up. She was like put away for a little while. Mark stayed by her side. He basically does not want her to know that Jack is around. Jack exists. Nothing. He doesn't want the president to know. So he says as long as she lives, she will never hear the name Jack Bauer. I want to see how long this lasts, to be honest. I truthfully want to see how long this lasts. So the protests against Heller, people are outside when Heller comes out because they're supposed to be going somewhere, I think to some type of event with the British Prime Minister. Because the president and everybody's over in England doing this whole thing because of this mess with the drones killing children. So it's a protest against Heller, and the people are all upset. And we find out that Jack, like I said, refused to speak, blah, blah, blah. We're done with that one. So what ends up basically happening is that Kate finds out that Jack had a connection with Chloe O'Brien. She found out through this guy. She also found out that Jack told on himself, basically, and wanted to be caught because of this. And she has this guy do this level 5 lockdown to make sure he can't get out. But like I said, Jack, rocket launcher, ladder, he's out of there. So President Heller's in the car with Audrey. Audrey's worried because of this mistake that he made. Like I said, it's Mark. Mark is making like a big deal out of this for no reason. Like, it's really not that serious. I mean, they could kind of brief him on it, but it feels to me like Mark maybe wants that job. So Mark's going to do everything to discredit President Heller. Does it sound familiar to some of you 24 fans? It should sound familiar. President Logan? Yeah, remember